Okay, so we're going to start with the lesson title, which is at the top of the page there. So 第六课, which means the sixth lesson, and it says 他住在那儿, which means he lives where. Now, what we need to work out is how we break up that little grammatical pattern there. So if I put my cursor here and I show you just there, that one is 住在. Now, when you're looking at this little phrase here, 住, the word 住 means to live. 在 means to be in, at, or on. So 在 actually gets used quite a lot. But when you put 住在 together, that means that you live somewhere. Now, the rest of the question is asking something else. So this part of the recording, we're looking at 那儿. Now, 那儿 is a word that means where. Now, when you put this little indicator on the end, this character here, it actually is the word er, a bit like the number 2 in pronunciation. But the er is kind of like a suffix. What it does is it makes it feel like the question of where something is actually a lot smaller. Because when you ask the question, where is etc., etc., it's actually a really big question to ask. So when people in China put the R on the end, it's kind of making it a little bit smaller to think about. Now, when you're looking at the character nar, the easy way to remember where nar comes into play is the character at the front, this one here. This is called the call radical. It's a mouth radical. Now, what that means is anytime you see that call, you can pretty much rest assured it's got something to do with the mouth, or it might even have something to do with the question. So we've actually already seen call when you looked at, terrible stroke order there, ma for questioning. There's that call radical there. So basically the title means where does he live? Now let's have a look at number 1. So we're going to be looking at this text here. So the person says 我姓李,我叫李山. Now, 我姓李, we already know, means my last name is Li. Then the person says 我叫李山, which means my name is Li Shan. The next question says, well, it's not actually a question, it's a statement. It says 我是中国人,我是中国人. Now, if I put my cursor onto the word I'm about to chat about, so let's just have a little look here. 是. Now, 是 in English means to be, or is, or am. So, when you look at it in the context of 我是, you can see I am. Now, directly after you have the country, 中国. And we all know that 中国 is China. Now, 中国人, whenever you put 人 on the end of a sentence, that indicates that you are that nationality. So, 我是中国人 means I am Chinese. I am a Chinese person. Now, the last part of the sentence we've got to look at is 我住在北京. Now, 我住在, we already know 住在. This part of the sentence, it means to live. I live, and where do you think they live? Pretty simple. 北京. Now, 北, the first one, that one actually means north. Jing is a capital, north capital. So that is what Beijing is. And you can see that Beijing is on the map, so obviously it's up in the north of China. Now we're going to look at text number 2. This person says, 我姓王,我叫王月,我也是中国人,我住在上海. Now, if we actually translate that in one big go, the first sentence says, 我姓王, my last name is Wang, 我叫王月, my name is Wang Yue. Now, 我也是中国人. Now, you can see that if we have a look at 也, we already know 也. 也 means also. So in this context, when you're looking at 我也是, I also am 中国人. This person has listened to what the first person said in the text and they've said, I am also Chinese. They live in somewhere else. 我住在上海. Exactly where you think it is. Shang is the word to be on. And hai, this one, means to be on the water. And you'll notice this radical here. This is the water radical. So anytime you see that water radical, that actually means that the word has something to do with being on the water. So Shanghai means literally on the water. And if you look at where Shanghai is on the map, you know that Shanghai is actually on the water. It's right here. Great. Now we're looking at text number 3. 我姓李，我叫李海，我也是中国人，我住在西安。Now, you can see here that these people have actually used exactly the same configuration that the rest of the people have used, but they've actually said, I'm also a Chinese person, but here, 西安. Xi, the first character in that 2-character phrase, means west. So west. And then in the other character, an means peace, as in peaceful. And you can see that Xi'an is actually in the west. Okay, now this person says, 我姓山本，我叫明. So the guy said, my last name is Shanben, and his name is Ming. Now, he is actually a different nationality. Can you guess what he is? 我是日本人. 日本 is Japan, so he is Japanese. 我住在日本. He lives in Japan. Now, if we move all the way over to our very last person, this person says, 我姓王，我叫安妮，我也是中国人，我住在香港. Now, this person is also a Chinese person. They've said 我也是, 也是, very important. Now, 我住在香港, 香港. Now, 香港, it's all the way down here on the map. Can you guess where that is? It's Hong Kong. Now, you might be able to notice there again, with that second character, it also has that water radical that Shanghai had. Now, that must means it's something to do with the water. The literal translation of Xianggang is smelly for xiang, or fragrant, and gang is a harbour or a port. So it's actually like a smelly port or a fragrant port. And if you've ever been to Hong Kong, you'll know that Hong Kong is a little bit smelly. So there you go. Here's an explanation of your text for Lesson 6.